Of course, everybody uses Hitler. He seemed like he was a good dude at first. But the thing is that even though he was saving Germany and he was, saying, we're not going to pay any of these stupid war taxes, and we're going to take back all of the old German cities and everything like that. Uh, Essentially, he made it so people thought that they had nothing else left to do except to think of the rest of the world as the other. And he did it in this way where it's like, I know you're desperate, but I'm giving you a way out of this desperation. And there were other people that were like, hey, the way that this dude's proposing us get out of this best desperation is going to lead you to calamity. But people wanted that. People were so hurt that they needed that. They wanted to feel important again. They wanted to feel like the world took notice, and they knew that they couldn't be treated that way again. So when you look at that, it's kind of like, it looks a little bit like the woke culture now. Everybody needs to know how bad we have it, just like all of the Nazis needed to let the whole world know, this is how bad you guys treated us, and we have a right to do what we're doing. We have the absolute right because you took so much from us. And when you get caught up in that self-righteous thing and you don't have the objectivity to go like, the people I'm going against, they have their own shit too. I don't know what that shit is, but I have to have an appreciation for the fact that they do have it. And what we're doing now is we're like, it's our neighbor. This is, whether you're in Canada now, or you're in the United States, everybody that's doing whatever you're doing the Black Lives Matter protest, whatever, we're all in this together. But there's few people that look at that and they go, this is chaotic and I really need to take advantage of this. And we don't see the humanity in the other side, because a lot of us as people are susceptible to having somebody, I guess, righteously tell us that we were not only wronged, but we need to have that wrong righted, because that feels a little powerful too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, righteous indignation is a very, like, it feels good when you feel that way, because you feel like, I am justified in being this angry. And like you were saying about Hitler there, like, one of those tactics that he used is uniting the people against a common enemy, which is what always happens with ideologues in like any political worldview, especially a lot lately. Like, we all think the same way. Those other people, they are bad people. Let's unite against them and share our righteous anger so we can take down these bad people.
Oh yeah, and the thing is there's always somebody that's a little angry. That's why I get a little upset, and that's why I thought that even the analogy that they had with the Green Lantern, there's so many. Everybody can get a red ring. The thing is anger's the easiest of all of the emotions to have, because it's like, look, I don't have to think about anything. All I know is I'm angry, and something, I don't know what it is, whether right or wrong, needs to happen. And I'm going to make that happen, so I'm not angry anymore. And people feed into that. As far as having a psychedelic experience goes, it lets you know that that's all BS, and why would you have anybody to fight with in the first place? Also, I think it lets you realize that maybe having a centralized religion or something like that isn't so bad, because when we at least were more religious as a country, I believe here in the United States, and probably just anywhere that has a centralizing religion, it's a little easier to unite behind something other than politics. Because you're like, well, yeah, maybe you're a Democrat, maybe you're Republican, but at the end of the day, we're all going to go see God, so who cares? So it doesn't seem like all of this is as, I guess, raw and against you. But at the same time, it's like, if you go with religion, then there's going to be something that goes like, well, ultimately somebody believes in something different than I do, so I think that's bad. So we're really good at finding ways to separate ourselves. I've just noticed that, just as people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like what you were talking about there, it kind of goes back to Nietzsche, what Nietzsche said about the death of God, basically, which he sort of meant as a metaphor for the declining role of religion in society. And it kind of seems like that was prophetic, especially today. Like people are basically getting religious about their political worldviews, and I appreciate that point you made at the end there too, because like it's hard to find a solution, because like religion is a very good, like to go back to Jonathan Haidt, who we've talked about before. One of the and I've talked about this on my channel so many times, but one of the reasons that I stopped being a militant atheist is because I learned through mixed mental arts from people like Jonathan Haidt and David Sloan Wilson about cultural evolution and group selection, and how it seems like religion was selected through group selection because it helps create more effective groups. Um, and so that's why, like, I stopped being militant about my atheism, because I figured, well, it's natural for people to be religious, and then I developed a better understanding about how religion is very useful for people and it helps a lot of people. And then, but to go back to the point that you made at the end there, like, religion isn't necessarily for everyone, and not everyone is going to have the same religion, and people should be allowed to have, say, different religions in the different culture. So it's hard to think of like a good solution, like I was saying, because like, what do you like how do you unite everyone in a culture over something? You can do it with a religion, but and maybe that'll work, maybe that is the solution, but which religion is it? There's going to be disagreement over what religion over what religion it is, or if it's not a religion, what other sort of political worldview or any other sort of worldview it is. Like, it's so hard to figure out how to solve this sort of problem, or even if it can be solved.